in love with it. All right. So with no further, I don't know what this word is. You all, a do. I think it's a do. You all, I need you all to welcome Miss Nrich to the screen. All right.
Hey,
Hello, hello, Miss Nrich. How are you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I am doing amazing. I'm doing amazing. A lot of folks came out to hear you speak, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy that they came out to hear us speak because I think you have something to give. I know you always do. Listen, before we start, I want you all to know me and her talk every day.
Every
All right,
day.
every
Every
damn
single day.
day, every day, and I'm telling you, we speak from what time do we start speaking?
It could be about 6, 7. Good morning. How you doing? How the wife? How the kids? Like it just every day.
We, we speak and we speak throughout the entire day. So this is a natural. This is something that we do every day. We never did it on camera, so it might be a little different.
Right.
But so, Miss Nrich, can you tell them about yourself?
I am Nrich and I am a certified empowerment and professional life coach. I help women build their self confidence, set boundaries, and heal and release themselves from their past trauma. So, Kirk asked me a long time ago, how did I start? Where did it begin? And it began with me. So I had to learn from me. And I'm able to help others by my own experiences, also through my research, education, certifications, and all those things.
So, how do you help? How do you go about helping people? Like, what do you do exactly?
So with my clients, basically we discuss what their goals are, their everyday goals. But then when we start to talk and dig a little bit deeper, we start to identify their limiting beliefs. What thoughts are holding them back from achieving their goals? It doesn't matter how big or how small. And first, we start to identify the limiting beliefs. What do you think is holding you back? That I can't do it, or that I'm just too dumb, I'm just too stupid, I'm not even going to give that a try because I know I won't be successful. And I channel this with them and I say, well, why do you feel this way? Why don't you feel like you're able to do this? Then we address negative self-talk. Then we build up their self-compassion so they give themselves grace. And we work from there on building their boundaries and their self-love, but we also address their inner scripts, which brings out past traumas, which what we experience from childhood is directly correlated to ways that we respond and experience things today.
Hmm. But I noticed that to do those type of work, you had to be in, you had to go through some stuff, right? You had to go through some stuff. You had to see in hell. You have to, you had to travel to hell and back. I wanna, what made you start doing this? What is it in your life that made you wanted to do this stuff, this type of work?
For me, it was me wanting to stop repeating the cycle. And what I mean by that is stop dating the same person in different bodies. And I mean, every situation wasn't necessarily identical, but it absolutely showed up as me repeating the same behaviors and picking the same person, just in different bodies.
Hmm. How did you know when you picked the same person?
It took a little bit. It took me a little bit of time for the mask to come off. I'll say it like that. So, a little bit of time to actually see it. Because at first, you got to understand that sometimes you do see people's representatives. And then you have to understand that, hey, you know what? Okay, so is this the person that I'm really dealing with? Those first 6 months were amazing. They were beautiful. They were full of love and cuddling and all the beautiful things. And then when we hit month 6, what happened? The mask fell off. And depending on the stress, depending on the financial resources, depending on what stage they were in life or what stage I was in life, let's not even put all the shift or all the blame on this other person. Let's talk about what I had to do for me, because I can only take ownership in who I am and how I show up and what I was choosing to allow in my space, which is how I was able to identify my boundaries.
Okay, okay. So Now, I know you speak on relationships and what you've been through. What are some of the things that you've been through, if you don't mind speaking about them?
Whew,
What are some
go
of the things that you've been through that you know some of your sisters go through on a daily basis that they don't want to speak about?
Okay, well, let's talk about it. I have experienced cheating. Most of us have. Doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. Everybody has, I'm sure, experienced some form of cheating in that way. Okay, we're not going to normalize it because cheating is a choice. It is a
Okay.
decision that people make. I've been through cheating. I've been through mental abuse, verbal abuse, domestic violence, and all of those played a part in how I was showing up in my day-to-day life. Whether people know it or not, if you are physically abused and then you're mentally abused, you still send out the same wavelengths. Your brain still shows up in the same exact way, as if somebody was physically hurting you or somebody was talking down to you or making you feel smaller than. It still shows up the same way.
What do you think you contributed to your own suffering in those ways? I know these questions are different, right? I told you we're gonna shift.
They're okay. They're real.
Yeah.
They're real questions. How did I show up? What can I take ownership in?
Mhm.
My boundaries and my self-love were not where they needed to be.
Okay.
So we teach people how to treat us. What we are able to accept or willing to accept lets a person know that they can treat us whatever way they want to.
Right.
So as soon as we address it, and it doesn't have to be aggressive or mean, you can simply say, I really do enjoy when you communicate with me. I enjoy that. I would like a little bit more of that. You don't have to be disrespectful in any way to address what feels like a boundary if you need more of something, because there is someone out there that will give you the things that you desire or you want. I know how you feel about those D words.
No, it's all right. Desire, nothing wrong with desires and deserve, but we know what you're saying. Now, I know some people are gonna look at you and say, "Oh, you are very pretty. You're a very beautiful woman." Now, did you always feel that way, or did the self love lacking in growing up as you in your 20s, 30s?
Let me tell you something. As a person who struggled, and I struggled from when I was younger into my adulthood with my weight. My highest weight, I'm not going to say the number, but it was closer to the end of the twos, the 200. Okay? And I will say a lot of how I looked at myself in the mirror had a lot to do with how I was treated in school. So also this plays a role in our inner scripts. The way we were treated when we were younger, between the ages of 0 and 10, absolutely affect us. I got picked at because my hair was too curly. I didn't have a perm. I was allergic to perms. I got picked at because dark circles around my eyes. I got called a name by children at school because I didn't dress as urban or have Nautica or Tommy Hilfiger. But I did have nice clothes because my parents, they took care of those things. I had real bad allergies, skin problems, eczema. I had a lot of things that played a role in how I felt when I was younger into my adulthood. So it took me looking in the mirror and picking something different every day and speaking and loving on that. That's where I started.
Man,
I'm just saying.
listen. So now that you look the way you're looking, people assume, whatever they want to assume, because people would assume all this stuff, and people think that you have completely healed from that mindset of the past. Are you really healed from that mindset? Are you really healed from the past? Are you really healed from experiencing those traumatic events?
Let's talk about it. Healing is an everyday choice. I wake up every day and I choose to take the higher road and be a better version of myself than I was yesterday or last week or last month. Healing is an everyday choice because I can take it straight to hell at any given moment. And that's my
Straight to
choice.
hell. And when you say it's your choice, what are you choosing to do every day?
I choose peace over everything else. I choose not to argue. I choose not to raise my voice. I choose not to allow that in my space. That it doesn't matter who it's coming from. Relationship, friendship, family. That's a hard boundary for me. Yelling, because we can communicate and have a dialogue that is effective. And if somebody has their emotions in a heightened way, we can absolutely say, you know what? I need 10 minutes, an hour overnight. Let me calm down so I don't say the wrong thing. And I can't hear you if you're yelling at me because the message gets lost in between us. I would rather us be at a calm level and communicate with each other where we both can feel heard and validated. And that's important. It doesn't matter if it's romantic, family, friend, coworker, whatever. That is so important.
When you was experiencing those blockages as far as the self-love journey wasn't there and the self-respect wasn't there, what kind of men did you experience when you were dating? What type of men were drawn to you mostly? I'm getting too personal. Listen, if I'm getting too personal, let me know now.
I'm gonna answer it. I'm gonna answer it. You're fine. I'm breathing because it was different. So, like, you know how they'll say, somebody can say, "Oh, they're too boring for me. I can't. They're too boring. They don't have that you know, that little thing." Well, I attracted different gentlemen. I attracted some that I didn't feel like had that oomph, and then I attracted some that did have that oomph, which the bad boy energy. And they may have been professional, but had that tough exterior that just, you know, just gives you that energy. And what I observed is that's not necessarily what I deserve or what I want or what I need in my life, because that type of energy with my energy may not mesh at this time. So the men that I've attracted some that were very generous, kind, and catering, and I've attracted some that wanted to leech off of me and use me. And because I love genuinely, I give of my heart when I love. And I found that I was taken advantage of in different scenarios. But then I had to take ownership for myself and say, you know what? How was your boundary? What happened, girl? You know, had to have that real conversation with myself. Girl, what happened? I loved and I gave. And
but how hard was it to keep your boundaries when you liked somebody, especially when your self-love was struggling because you wanted to be good enough for that person? So how was your boundaries acting up?
Boundaries were out the window. They were out the door because it was like, well, I care about them. Well, I want them to survive. Well, they need my help. Let me help them. You know, it makes me feel good to help them. You know, I want to make sure. I would have considered myself a people pleaser. How about that? I wanted to make everybody happy or perform to make everybody happy for acceptance. And I wasn't even accepting myself. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't. It wasn't.
So how would you say how important, like, how would you tell your clients? How would you tell? Hey, thank you, Cheryl. Thank you guys for enjoying this beautiful chat right here. I appreciate you guys. Hey, Aquafina, how important would you say now, looking back from when you was hurt, and now as you are more free? How important? And give me the real and the rich answer. How important is boundaries in relationships now? How important do you think boundaries really are?
They are absolutely important. So, like 1,000% important. And I think the most important thing to remember with boundaries is absolutely they need to be healthy, right? We need to have healthy boundaries. However, if there's ever a time where you feel like you need to reevaluate your boundary, it can be bendable depending on where you are and what your needs are. You can change your mind at any time or any day as long as you're not disrespecting yourself. And I had to learn that because at first when I started, I had hard boundaries. No. And then if somebody comes back and I have the space to help or I have the space to give, that's when it's acceptable to say, you know what, I'm not disrespecting myself. I can give this right now because my cup is full. The overflow goes to everyone else. It was when my cup was completely empty that I didn't even have to give to myself, that I knew I had to remove myself from what I was dealing with and pour into my own cup.
When did you start seeing a difference or a change in your life when you started to set the boundaries?
I would have to say it was about 2 years ago when I really made a decision to say no more. And I started to really focus on myself. I did isolate myself. I would say I went in hermit mode for healing. I wasn't really out on social media, just bam, bam, bam. But what I did start to do was document my healing journey. And that was so freeing for me. I started on my TikTok platform and I grew my numbers. And that's when I started like having conversations with people and they were thanking me for my videos. I was getting texts and different random messages from people I didn't even know was watching, and they were telling me to keep going. I was having conversations with friends saying, this is what I'm working on and this is what's happening. And they started saying, you're good at this. Don't stop. Keep doing it. Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm seeing it as I'm documenting my own process. I'm documenting where I came from, how I got here, and to continue this thing. And it was freeing, not knowing it was helping other people who could relate, men and women.
Mm-hmm. Like right now, like right now, what you're doing right now.
I'm so
Let me
thankful
have,
for the people that are here.
mm-hmm. Let me ask you a question now. Now let's go a little. Let's, I like to go deep sometimes, right? What was the hardest thing, the most difficult thing to break away from, whether it's a person, it was, I mean, in a relationship type? What was? Do you remember that one person that was so hard to break away from, but yet they were the worst thing for you? And how did you go about breaking it? How did you go about getting through that, getting over it?
You know what? I would say the hardest thing for me to break away from was the performance energy. And I hope I'm expressing it right. I hope somebody else understands where I'm coming from. Performing to gain love, performing to gain acceptance, being this perfect. I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna clean. I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give. I'm just gonna show up with a smile on my face because it's gonna make this person happy. And what it was I wasn't choosing me, because yes, everybody around me was happy because I was giving, but was I happy? No. So the thing that I had to break was to stop performing for acceptance from other people, but loving on me. So you break one thing only to join up something else that actually works. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes
It
sense
does.
to everybody.
It does. It does. Um, was there a person that was really hard to break from? I mean, and what did you have to do? What did you have to tell yourself? What did you have to go to the extreme measures to break away? Because I know with self-love and self-respect, when those things are battling you and what you deserve and what you desire, self-love and self-respect, when those things are lacking, it takes more courage and it's just difficult to leave a situation. Because listen, I'll be real.
Okay.
I had a situation where I could be transparent. I had a situation that I had to leave the country to get away from.
Mm.
But you know what I mean? So when I ask these questions, I know these things is real. I know it's real. I know we have attachments that's so damn strong that you can't leave them alone, no matter how much time has passed, no matter, because there's something just pulls you back and pulls you back. I had to leave the whole country. I had to
Mm.
go to Asia just to free myself from this one person because I needed it. You know what I mean? I had to, because if I didn't leave, I don't know, I probably would have still be there like a damn fool. You know what I mean? Knowing that it wasn't right.
I get it. I actually get it. You asked the question, what was that thing? I had to completely separate myself, remove myself, cut off communication, put up the blocks, and make sure there was no real entryway. No, and I mean, because I needed to stand firm, not based on the fact that I love this person, but based on the fact that I was choosing me and I needed to show and stand on me, like through love, not in a painful way. I mean, it wasn't easy, but each day it got better. I wasn't mentally thinking, what am I going to do wrong now? Am I going to get yelled at? What's happening next? That is real. And I tell people, if you have to question that, pay attention to it. If there's things you're not sharing with your family or your friends because of fear of embarrassment or fear of they're going to judge you. And, people say, don't tell your family or friends your business. So, if you get back with that person, you don't want them to feel any way. It's not even about that. Are you attaching shame to yourself because someone else is hurting you and you need to observe it? That's something we have to pay attention to because it is so real. Choosing someone else over yourself was one of my biggest lessons that I had to learn. And now I won't get lost in someone else at risk of losing me ever again. Never. Ever.
Deep, deep. So, how does that your experience show up in your dating now? How Now I know as we go through these things, I know we go through these things, and as we go through these things, it kind of put a like a bad feel, a bad smell, like not again. How does that show up now in your life? Do you have issues with your heart being open or trust and stuff, whatever it is?
I have gotten so strong with stating, I'm not gonna deal with this. You're not gonna yell at me. We're not gonna do this. This is not how this is gonna go. I can't tolerate, I can't hear you over the yelling. So I'm gonna go ahead. We're not gonna do this. Because I'm
Yeah.
coming at you calmly. I'm talking to you. Speak with me. We'll come back to it. We'll try again if we can, but I want us both to feel validated and heard. And at this point, I have no problem saying that. I think in the past, it became something that I felt was normal. So I
Mm-hmm.
think I'm gonna say in a lot of communities, we think that when we elevate our voice, it shows our passion. And
Mm.
just because somebody has raised their voice doesn't make them any more or less passionate than you are.
Say that again. Say that again. That
Just
that one gotta be
because
said again.
someone raises their voice doesn't make them more or less passionate than you are.
I like that.
Absolutely not.
I like that. I like that. I like that. That is true. That is true. Do you have you do you seem or do you feel like you have trust issues now or more issues or anxiety when it comes to dating? How does that show up in your daily life or dating life?
I trust me. So
Trust me.
my decision making is made solely on me. So it took me a minute to learn how to trust my intuition because the domestic violence, things I experienced in the past, when those things started raising, whether we want to call them yellow flags or red flags or whatever, I was ignoring them because I'm like, but I really want to be in this relationship for the sake of a title? Absolutely not. I really want to be with this person because I love them. For the sake of my heart hurting and me questioning my mental stability? Absolutely not. So
Mm,
now I trust myself. If I even feel an inkling of this might not work for me. So I pay attention very well. I'm going to allow you to do you and move how you move. I'm not going to restrict you, but I'm going to pay attention to what fits into my puzzle, just like you should as well.
yeah,
And I have negotiables and non-negotiables. I have my own list and I stick with it. I don't bend on those
yeah.
because we all deserve to be happy. We all deserve healthy, and that's important.
You said a word just a few seconds ago, and I want to put some emphasis on the word. You use the term domestic violence, right?
Yes. Yes.
What how does that show up, and how do you know when it's about to show up? I don't know if you have experienced that before, and if you feel free or not to talk about it, but how does that show up in relationships, and what do you do when it shows up?
Okay. So I am a domestic violence survivor,
Hmm.
11 years. And, I don't wish that on anybody. And the things that I look back on and I say, wow, had I paid attention, you check for the person's stability, mental stability. If you see them drinking a whole lot, that's a sign for me. Are you able to manage your emotions through alcohol? Or do you have to have spirits to help you? And I mean spirits in the alcohol way. Okay, so then verbally, how are they speaking to you verbally? Because those are the signs. The verbal and the mental come first before any of that. Now, I'm not saying that everybody who kind of like if you feel them talking down to you or you feel like they're dismissing you, it, it's not always domestic violence, but it can be a form of abuse. So you really have to pay attention to how you feel. If someone is trying to control you, what you wear, where you go, your friends, your access to your family, pay attention. Slow down and pay attention. If someone is making you feel like you have to question your own mental capacity for things that you feel are normal in the way that you process, and you have not heard it before from a partner, your family, or anybody that's close to you, pause for a second and think, am I tripping? I might not be, but I can sit here and think to myself, was this a rational moment? But the thing to pay attention to would be how they speak to you, if they are controlling, if they raise their voice, if they come towards you in an aggressive manner, if they're more physical when they have been drinking. I see questions. Somebody asked if it was 11 years ago.
No, that's someone else.
relationship.
They was talking about somebody else.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was me because I said 11 years. I am a survivor. It was 11 years ago, if that was your question. 11 years ago, it happened.
How did you survive that? Just like generally, we ain't got to go and if you're not comfortable, just let me know. We can switch.
Figure out how to say it without me triggering somebody else's situation. So I didn't want to be in that relationship anymore. I didn't want to go through the mental and emotional things that I was going through. And I'll tell you guys, I didn't handle it correctly, but I know now the steps to take to protect yourself. You have to have your safety is imperative if you're going to try to remove yourself from something that you're unsure of. You have to move a little bit differently to protect yourself. I changed my phone number on that particular day, and I didn't want that situation anymore. And the person showed up at my home. And y'all better call the cops. I'm going to end it for her tonight. So the intention was stated out loud. And yeah, I'm still here. Let me say that. I'm still here surrounding being hit, being beat, around pumes flying at me. 5 was what was found in my townhome at the time. And I'm telling this story. I don't, this is public and I don't have a problem with it. I just don't want to make anybody feel any way, because I'm thankful to still be here. I'm thankful to tell my story. I'm thankful to be alive. And that's how I knew I had a greater purpose on this earth. I don't wish that on anyone. But what I can say from that experience is, how did I do it? You asked, how did you do it? Honestly, it took time. I carried that experience, that person, on my back for 3 years. The pain, the shame, the weight from that situation, until I really said, you know what? That's not yours to carry. You didn't tell that person to do that to you. Wait a minute. No, it's not fair to you. It's time to start working on your healing. You asked how I did it. Honestly,
by the grace of God, huh?
That's it. From the whole thing, I'm like, whoa, how did you do it? How did you get here? It's a journey, y'all. It is a journey.
And you've been through that kind of stuff, so I know that stuff leaves marks, and it's not just physical marks, but stains in your mind.
Yeah.
How is it now when a guy approach you or DM you? Does it replay in your mind, and does it bring a fear or a thought?
I'm gonna tell you what I don't like. I'm gonna tell you what makes me pause. If a man is following me around the store or to my car, it makes me so uncomfortable. If a man does not accept, no, I'm not giving you my number, it makes me a little uncomfortable. However, if someone is in my DMs, I'm paying attention to how they're responding. So let's say I step away for a moment and I come back and I got 5 messages. Hello, are you there? Hello? And I'm like, whoa, how does that show up for me? It makes me pause for a second. There's a moment where I'm like, that's persistent. But then there's a moment where I'm like, ooh, what if down the line that shows up as control, or I got to answer all the time? And then it just makes me pause for a second.
That one I know about, because when we were speaking the last time about that one person.
Yeah, you were like, he likes you. And I'm like, friend.
I was like, that boy just likes you. Nope, I'm not doing it. And she stuck with it too. Kirk, I'm gonna block him. You know what? You probably should, because you know better than I do when it comes to your own experience. So yeah, I feel you. So what would be your word of advice generally for somebody who says, I'm going through this right now? What would be your advice? Just generally speaking. Thank you, Cheryl.
Think safe. Be in any moment, think safe. And I've made this statement before. When you're experiencing something like that, you might have to keep that person calm. It might look like cooking a meal. It might look like going and smiling and going out to an event and you're experiencing this and you're trying to hold it together. Safety is imperative. Having a safety plan is imperative. I wouldn't tell anybody just to announce I'm leaving, I'm and not have somebody that knows something about you. You have somebody waiting on you. You have already started to work on what it looks like to remove yourself safely. You have to move in a different type of way. It's different. It's different. Thank y'all. I see all the kind words. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all.
What just happened? Can you see me? Am I still here?
Froze for a second.
Can you see me now?
Uh-huh.
Man, listen, I think my kids are on this internet, man. They're bootleg. Chat, can you see me? People in the chat, can you see me? Lord, I'm telling you, my kids are playing Fortnite. So let me make sure that they make sure that they can hear me and see me.
Okay.
Hey, let me know if you can hear me and see me, because you might be able to see me, Nrich, but I don't think they might be able to see me. Okay, good. Hey, Belinda. Hey, Amanda. Hey, everyone. Thank you all for joining. Hey, Loranda. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Jess Simon. Kathy. Let me give some shout out, especially to my beautiful members that we're meeting tomorrow night. Good. Hey, Candy. What's up, Danielle Amaro? Do you think that your childhood had something to do with what you experienced as far as, who you attracted or what you went towards or who you was for and your, your background as far as in abuse and violence and stuff?
I'm not going to say abuse. I'm going to say what we call the norm, right? Remember, people communicate in different ways. We all are different. We all communicate in different ways. But now in the space I'm in, I kind of see that throughout my whole childhood experience, the experiences I had in school, the experiences I had with kids, the experiences that I had just in general and how it showed up in my life. And I think commonly, and I don't want to call anybody out, but in our community, it's normal to express yourself at a different level, elevate your voice. It means you care so much. And the statement that I just heard in my head was, I'm doing this because I love you. I'm doing it because I love you. I'm doing this because I love you. But the thing about that statement is, if you're saying this while you're punishing a child, what you're saying is it's acceptable for someone to do this because they love you. And I had a conversation with a friend the other day, and she said it shows up as, you can tell when somebody loves you if they hit you. And that's not it. That's not love. Love is not pain. And I mean, our parents did the best they could with what they had. I'm not saying nothing bad. I'm saying the norm, how they grew up, and then they took what they knew and they said, this is what the house is going to look like. I'm not saying none of that. I think we all have experienced different things because that's what happens. You get your grandparents, they produce one of your parents. Your grandparents produce one of your parents. You might have somebody that grew up in a secure home where emotions were tolerated or accepted or not tolerated and accepted. So then they get married and they mesh together, and you have a household of someone who might be dismissive, avoided, or secure, or what is it? When it's all over the place, I can't think of it. Anyway, the attachment styles. So the way you show up in your relationships. Somebody might dismiss emotions because they don't know how to process their own, where you have another parent who is completely secure in knowing how to express their emotions at an even level. And then you get them together. And when you get them together, you got one parent that says, I don't want to hear your feelings. And then another parent's like, but this is how I was raised. And I think the difference is when they come together and then they have a child and you get a mesh of one parent who does it this way and another parent who does it this way. And then you go out into the real world and you take what you learned about love, because we learn how to love from the examples that our first caregivers gave us. And you seek that and you find comfort in what you experienced. So if you're used to someone raising their voice in your home as a child, chances are either you are going to be the person raising your voice or you're attracted to the person raising their voice because you find comfort or familiarity with the raised voice. It's a cycle. It's a cycle that continues.
Ambivalent attachment, someone said.
Where we at? I missed it. Disorganized. That's the word I was looking for. Sorry, y'all. Disorganized. That's when the person is attracted to you, latches on, shows you love, but then when they're afraid they're gonna get their feelings hurt, they shut the door or put a wall up so you can't hurt them, and then they come back and cling to you, and then they push you away again. That's what disorganized. I'm sorry. That's what I was trying to say.
Wow. Okay. So what do you do now for you? What do you do now? So you've been through hell, right? You've been through hell. You've been through a hell. We all been through hell. Don't get me wrong. But what do you do for you now to show up the way how you show up? Now, like I said before, we speak every day, and I have an idea. You know, because we speak about it every day. Hell, every day we speak about it. You hear me? Every day we speak about it. Every day we speak about it.
Okay.
But what is it? What is it that you do? Hell, my wife, you know, one day we were driving, right? Me and my wife, we were going to Miami, and my phone was connected to the car. And Nikita text. Because you know, show up in your car. She's like, who's Nikita? I'm like, oh, my friend. She's like, oh, okay. Beep, Nikita. Beep, Nikita. I was
like, Kirk. I know you.
I was like, no, it's just Nikita. Nikita's just my friend. But she don't question me, so we good.
Right.
But actually, she know, but she know who you are. Yeah. So how do you? Yeah. Back to my question.
How do I every day? How do I?
Yeah. How do you
focus on every day?
Yeah. What do you do to show up the way? What do you do to show up the way? How you show up, coming from that space of trauma?
My gratitude. My gratitude. Okay. Yes. So I actually created this tool called My Gratitude Journal. And it's a guided journal, and it allows you to set your intention in the morning when you wake up. Today, I want to feel. You want to feel happy. You want to feel gratitude. You want to feel blessed. You want to feel whatever you want to feel, which is positive. Then today, I will spread kindness by. What do you see yourself doing? Are you going to smile at a stranger? I mean, it don't cost you nothing to smile at a stranger. And then you identify the things that you're grateful for at the end of the day. Or this is all in the morning, excuse me. And then at the end of the day, what are the things you're grateful for? What happened throughout your day that you were grateful for? What was the best part of your day? What did you learn from your experiences? And what are you looking forward to tomorrow? So I wake up and I set my intention in the morning that I want to be happy. I want to be happy. I want to be fulfilled. I'm grateful because I'm still here. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the things I have. I find even the smallest thing. I'm thankful for my job. I'm thankful for a car. I'm thankful for a house. I'm thankful for the grass. I'm thankful that the sun is out. And if I struggle with it sometimes, which I don't, because I've been doing this, I did 50 days of gratitude on TikTok. That's how that started, because that was a part of me starting my journey. Being able to focus on the things that I'm grateful for, and I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be here, because the things I've been through in my life, I'm blessed to be able to tell and help and do all the things that somebody else might need to hear. And I speak freely to people daily, and they tell me, thank you. I poured into them, and I'm just speaking, y'all. I'm just telling, you know, I'm seeing it a different way from what they might be experiencing, but I'm pouring life into them. And it costs me nothing to pour life into people. Say something positive. But gratitude is what I do daily. I have to focus on the good things because they outweigh the negative, the things that weigh you down. And Kirk, you talk to me every day. Every now and then, you might hear me go, ugh. And then you're like, you know what? Do your breathing. And I'm like, ugh. And I'm like, but I'm still grateful. You know, like, I'm human.
People don't believe.
Thing.
People don't believe that's me for real, right? Because they don't believe that's me for real. It's my real life. People, they don't believe that this is what I do for real. Like, this is what I do with my friends or family, people I speak to. This is just me. This is me all day, every day. And you get to experience me every single day. And you're like, Kirk.
And then you're like, I don't think you hear me. I don't think you understand me. I don't think you hear me. Nikita, I don't think you hear me. And I'm like, Kirk, I actually understand you. To the point where I told you how I would have responded in my old energy. I would have been like, close the door, Kirk. No, you know, but to be able to understand that we communicate on different levels and to say, you know, it's not coming from a malicious place. I can hear you.
Let me ask you a question. How long? This is a silly question, but I want you to put it and how you want to put it. I want you to take it how you take it. How long does healing take for a person who's been through all this stuff? How long does healing take?
Every day, all day, every day when you wake up. So we can say that we're healed, right? And you can say, I've addressed even the darkest part of me, the shadows, all the way down to the itty bitty smallest thing that you didn't even know you were dealing with, right? And you can say you released it. But if somebody comes along and they step on that grenade, that little thing that's on the ground, they step over the line, they tap it with their foot or their finger, and you blow up, that means that trigger is something that still needs a little bit more love and care. The triggers are the windows or the doors to where you start to heal. And if it still needs some love, if you're still reacting instead of responding, if you still cussing people out and going left because somebody touched it just a little bit, that means it's delicate. And identifying your triggers will let you know when it's time for you to remove yourself so you don't react. Instead, you're able to respond. So healing is an everyday choice. You can identify what makes you upset, what makes you feel a deep emotion, but it's all in how you choose to respond versus react. Reacting looks more like it sounds. You cussing somebody out, swinging, running, jumping, pulling up on somebody. We don't want to do that. We want to take ownership of our own actions and not give it to somebody else. So it's an everyday method and process.
Okay. I like that. I like that. What is the biggest lesson that relationships have taught you? Kiona said she wanted a bowl of cereal from listening to us.
What? Wait.
Kiona said, while listening to you out of nowhere, I now want a bowl of cereal.
She said I'm crazy. How is she crazy? That's what I have for breakfast, though. I don't know.
Hey, make sure I have some sugar in it. Some frosted flakes. But yeah, what are some lessons that, or what's the biggest lessons or two that relationship have taught you?
The biggest lesson, to love myself more. That's my own life lesson, right? And to not get lost in somebody else, like choosing not to get lost. So the way I look at people these days is that people are an experience. We don't own them. We get to experience them, whether it be your life partner, whether it be forever, or whether it be
Pause.
What's
You
up?
just can't go past that one. Go back and
What
say that
happened?
again.
Come on back.
What you
Verse
just
what?
said.
What
Say that again.
I say?
Relationship is, you said you can't own them. You could what? Say it again.
Experience them. People are experiences. You don't own them. You don't control them. You let them do what they want to do, whether it's for a lifetime as your lifetime partner or if it's for a season. But there is something to experience from that person, whether you learned a lesson, they were a blessing, they ignited a fire in your soul that made you, I don't know, start a business or heal or something, anything positive. There's something to learn. And when you experience somebody and you allow them to be and you don't control them, you'll be very interested in finding out, or it'll be very interesting that you find out that they will stay with you. They will find some comfort in you because you're not trying to box them in. Now, that doesn't mean let anybody cross your boundaries and step on your lines. Yeah. You have to move around what doesn't fit into your box. If it's dysfunction, you move around it. We don't stay in dysfunction because it's affecting us. Let it affect that person and you move around it.
I was looking at the comments. Somebody eating cereal too. Somebody else eating cereal. He said he's eating organic cornflakes with strawberries.
Oh God!
I think you're triggering. I think you are triggering some cereal appetite today. People want some cereal with some milk.
I don't know.
I get lost in the mails. So Aquafina said, I get lost in the mails in my life. I definitely need to fix that. How do you fix that? How do you go again? How do you go and fix that? And by the way, if you have questions now, I'm opening up for questions because we don't have much longer. So please, if you have questions and or stuff, or you want to hear her point of view or perspective based on what she's experienced, please put in the comments and we'll get to it.
All the cereal talk, they funny. Y'all funny. You said, well, I'm sorry. Do you remember your question?
Yes. So let me put on the screen.
Okay.
How do you fix that?
You get lost in the males in your life. You definitely need to fix that. Okay. The question is, what definition are you putting on the men in your life? Are you defining them as being more important than you? And the question is, why are they more important to you? So that's the question you have to ask yourself. Is it that you're trying to hold on to that particular male or that particular man? Are they showing value? Are they pouring into you? Are you performing or trying to gain their attention? The thing is, you have to identify why the male is so much more important to you than you are to yourself. What are they doing? Are they validating a part of you that may need to heal? Are they validating something that you didn't get from a caregiver? How are they showing up that you feel like, I can't let this person go? I'm attached. And first, you got to identify why you've defined them as being that much more important than you and your well-being. Because if you get lost in a male, that means that you have to find yourself. And it's very important that you don't lose yourself in anybody, because that means that if you seek attention and validation from that person when they don't give it to you, you're going to feel unstable. And that's why we want you to be strong. In that retrospect.
I have a question. Someone reached out to me,
Uh-huh.
and I think they are believing that they are too old and it's too late to have a relationship. I think let's say 55 years old.
Okay.
I think they have been through some traumatic experiences, some bad relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And what would you tell that person? And maybe she's listening right now. What would you tell that person thinking that she's too old and nobody else gonna want her because it's too late? What would you tell that person?
If you can believe it, you can conceive it. If you believe you are worthy of a relationship, you will have it. So, Kirk, you've heard me say this before. We manifest, and some people don't like that word, but we manifest every day in our lives, whether we think negatively or positively. The way that we think drives what we see and what shows up in our life. If you think you can't do it, you won't do it. But if you think you can, and you feel like that is something within your soul that you desire, Kirk, I keep using these D words, I know how you feel about them, but you are worthy of having the things that you desire. And something that you say to me all the time, Kirk, is the things that you want or the things that you desire, you want them and they're looking for you. They're trying to find you. So if there is a relationship and you are 55 years old that you want that relationship, it's trying to find you too. Don't give up, because you want it. It wants you too. And you can have
So
it.
you do listen to me. Okay, I see.
I tell you sometimes, whatever.
How about this question right here? How do you stop performing?
I've been doing it all of my life. I am the only girl in my immediate family, 3 brothers. Okay. Stop performing means that you have to limit what you are capable of doing based on your own definition. If, okay, you feel like it's draining when you cook a meal for all of the brothers, right? And you're like, you know what? We're going to order pizza. Like, it just shows up differently. Stop performing means, for me, is to stop showing up the way everybody wants you to show up, and show up for you. Be yourself. If you are uncomfortable with something, the thing about boundaries, and I'm going on this one for a second because I think it needs to be said. The thing about boundaries and how you address them is that you already feel uncomfortable. And if you're worried about how that other person responds to you, that means that you aren't honoring yourself and you're already uncomfortable. So stop performing means to say, that's not anything I'm able to do right now. That's not within my will of capability. I'm sleepy. I'm going to go lay down. I'm not cooking tonight. We ordering pizza. Let's go to a restaurant. Let's do something different. I don't want to do this. Unfortunately, it's making me uncomfortable. So I'm going to do what makes me comfortable. It means paying attention to you, your intuition, your desires, and your wants and needs. In essence, it means focusing on your self-love and your self-compassion. Focus on what you need, even if it means stepping away from for a moment.
Okay. I
How
like
do you
that.
keep moving forward? Okay.
How did you? Yep. How did you keep moving
How did
forward?
I keep moving forward? Oh man, let me tell you. It was a few steps back and a few steps forward and a few steps forward and a tiny bit back. But I kept going because I wanted something more and something greater. I didn't want to keep repeating the same thing over and over again to the point where I had to do something different. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the road forward was straightforward. There was some ups, there was some downs, there was some valleys, peaks, left, right. Was never a straight line. Sometimes it might have been a circle. But the thing was, when I started to see myself repeating old behaviors, I had to stop and say, what is this validation part that you are looking for in this person? They are showing up just like this, and you said this was not what you wanted. Choose healthy, and we're going to go this way. They can still remain in your life, but I get to choose how much access you have to me. That's how I keep moving forward. I honor myself in any moment. If there's something I want to do, I do it. If it's something I don't want to do, I'm able to say it and stand on it without even being disrespectful.
Interesting. Okay, that's deep. That's deep. That's deep. Kirk got us ladies all healed up.
Not healed up.
That's funny. That is funny. That is funny. So my father was emotionally unavailable. I knew he loved me, but I felt I had to earn his approval. Thank you, Kirk. I was able to break the cycle. Well, I appreciate Susan. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You know, it feels good. It feels good to be in a place where you can give your service without expecting anything back in return. You know what I mean? And I think it's a very, because the more we give is the more it shows up for us too. And I think sometimes that's what we need to realize. The more we give, because the truth is, yeah, we go through these things, and yes, we go through them. Nobody goes through them like the way how we do. Nobody understands how we go through. Nobody understands our pain, our suffering, our mindset, our feelings. They don't understand that. But to be able to take it in and turn it around and to give back, I think is a very powerful thing. And I'm honored to share my wealth of knowledge or experience or ideas or even practices with you guys, because if I add to the healing of this nation or to this world, then the consciousness gets stronger, right? So if I go through my things and I'm giving to you, then we all grow together, right? The consciousness. So the more we give is the better we do to the collective consciousness. So I'm honored to do this, and I'm sure you are too, because you just don't start doing this thing because of money. You know what I mean? You do it because you have a love, because you know what hurt feels like. You know what it is to feel hurt. You know what it is to feel lost. You know what it is to feel drained and tired. And you know what it is to feel lost and alone by yourself, like nobody understands you. So I think that since we understand that, it's like we say, okay, I see you. I mean, I know exactly what you're going through, but is there anything I can do? You know what I mean? Is there anything I can do to assist? Because I see you hurt. Now, I don't want to feel your pain. I mean, I don't want to feel what you feel, because I already felt mine. I don't want to feel yours. But my compassion says, listen, let me come on here and spend 2 hours just talking. And some are going to get it, some won't. Some are going to take the advice, some won't. And when you're ready, you're ready. Like we were just talking earlier today about some people who are ready. And when they are ready, they will come. And if they're not ready, they will give you hell.
Absolutely. We definitely talked about that earlier today. If they are not ready, they are going to run because they don't want to face that part of themselves. And that's fine. You can't hold on to them. Let them run. Let them go.
Yeah, they got to. See, it's hard to have self-respect when those that were supposed to love you the most never respected you. This is made worse when you see them treat others how you want to be treated. Yep, I agree. I completely agree, man. I completely agree. Let me ask you a question, right? I ask you, what's the biggest lesson that you learn when it comes to relationship? Now, how do you take this information, what you have been through, your own struggles, your own experience? How do you put it in your coaching session? Because I know you coach women on self-healing and how to get better. How do you use that type of information in what you do? How does it show up? That's facts, Isaac. That's facts.
I'm able to help them identify how their childhood shows up in the way they respond today. So like there is a portion of my program where I do what we call inner scripts. where you write down some major events that happen between the ages of 0 and 10. And I have you write it down, or I give you an assignment where you observe those, you identify how it made you feel and what that left you with. So the story can be anything. It could be, okay, between at the age of 7, my mom and dad weren't together anymore. It made me feel like men would always leave me, or it made me feel like I missed out on having a 2-parent household. So how does that show up in your adulthood today? You might have trust issues as it pertains to men, or you're going to think that a man is going to always leave you because that's what you experienced and that's the story you told yourself as a child. And there's a piece of validation that's missing. So when I talk to people and we identify any of those things that, they call in their childhood that impacted them in any way. So, I mean, it could be a number of things. It could be what happened at school. Somebody picked at you about something that you had no control over, such as skin or hair. And how does that show up? I have to be perfect. My hair has to be perfect. I have to cover up my imperfections. So now you're living a life where you feel like you have to perform to be accepted, or you have to fit in or be just like the Instagram models or the people that model or the people on TV or any of those other people, when all you have to do is be yourself. Because if you are love, love is going to find you as well.
Okay. Thank you. Well, how can people reach out to you if they want to take on your services, or if they want to see how your coaching works? How can they reach out to you?
So I'm on all platforms, and I do have my email and everything here, Kirk, because I know it's going to be a lot to type and everything. So I'm going to paste it in the chat, everybody. If anybody wants to find me, if the chat will let me paste it. Let's see.
Should.
It's not letting
Thank
me
you,
paste
Loranda. Hey,
it.
Jamisha. Is
It's
that you
not
paste it?
it's saying my
Okay.
it turns off.
Okay.
So
Oh, is it? Oh, that's weird.
because it's saying where my
So
class is gonna go. What you need me to do?
this is what we're gonna do. When it posted on YouTube, then just go on YouTube, comment and just post it there.
Okay,
Okay,
no
in
problem.
YouTube comment. Or and send it to me so I can post it in the description.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, in the description of the video. So what kind of coaches do you do again for the people who just come in? How do you help women? Especially, do you help men too or just women?
I've been focusing on women, but I do have some men friends who I talk to who ask me questions and ask me how to handle certain things. Like I can give you an example of how women aren't showing up for them. And I have a lot of men reach out to me and say, I'm in this relationship, I'm experiencing this. She might have a mood swing on me, or she's dismissing me. And all I'm trying to do is help her. And I mean help her financially, show up for her. And then she just kind of shoos them to the side. And I say, okay, well, in this moment, you got to give her the room to be herself, but you got to pay attention too. Do you have a safe space where you are even able to express yourself? Are you able to have these conversations with this woman and say, I need you to be a little bit more caring without her flipping out on you? You've got to pay attention to your needs as well. So as it pertains to my clients, different things like that, I do programs, I do assistance when people call me with, it could be friendship issues. It could be how the relationship's showing up. It could be, I need to set some goals. It could be debt and financial management. It can be a number of things. I help on an array of different things, especially with life coaching. It could be setting goals, getting into school, moving forward with whether it's healing, but I mainly focus on healing, because if we focus on healing and removing our limiting beliefs and addressing what's causing us pain that we're hanging on to, we can remove any blockages that hold us in a lower vibration. And then we start to observe gratitude and things to be thankful for, open ourselves up to receive our blessings and our abundance, and figure out how to stay in that energy and not go back to the old ways. Man, it's so freeing. So a lot of the work that I do is, yes, we start off with goals, objectives, what this client wants to obtain, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whether it's financial freedom, whether it's free in their mind. And then we start to remove those blockages that are holding them back. We identify and we do some healing work.
Okay. Well, thank you, Aquafina. Look at the beautiful comment. She said, and she's talking about this live
Oh, thank
as
you,
far as
Aquafina. Thank you.
that's amazing. That's amazing. Um, I wanted to bring this beautiful young lady up here because I know I have a lot of women um, subscribers, people who follow my content. I don't like to say followers, and I don't like to use those terms, but I have a lot of people who listen to me who are females or women, and I think we can assist because I don't have certain answers because I don't have certain experience, and I speak mostly either from a spiritual with a certain type of energy mindset or from a male perspective. I know how to do both, but I don't know how to speak from you, what you've seen, what you have experienced, and how do you go forward? How do you like what gave you that power? What after you being through domestic violence and being abused, what gave you that power to keep going? I'm very curious to know like where did that come from?
I'm gonna tell you what gave me the power to keep going. I have a desire. My desire is to actually have a healthy relationship, a household that is healthy. And because I started seeing those trends in the dating that I was picking or the things that I was allowing to happen in my life, I said, no, this is not about those outside people. This is all about what's happening within me. And then I started to seek healing. Then I started to research. I even went to counseling. Then I started to do some more research on, well, why am I showing up like this? Like, what pieces of me need to be loved on a little bit more? And then I had to separate myself and
Mm,
then learn to love myself the way I desired and needed to be loved. That's what it was about. It wasn't about me seeking the love outside of me because I already have love within me and I get love from
mhm,
very many different places daily. But it was me knowing what love looked like and felt like on my own accord. So I know what that feels like for me and I know how to fulfill it. And then if an outside person brings it to me, I know what that feels like as well. So I desired to be in a relationship, but I had to have the love and desire to be in a relationship with me first.
mhm.
That's why I kept going because it was something I wasn't doing for myself. I'm like, no, you're not showing up for you. You're not standing on business for you. Stand on that
No.
business. Love on you. And the people around you will see that you love you so much.
Mm.
Either they're gonna want to be around you or they're not. And that's okay because I got to experience them and I'm thankful for the experiences.
I like that. The desire to have healthy surrounding,
Yeah.
healthy relationship, healthy mind. That is what gave you the drive because a lot of people will give up. I've, after you've been hit a couple times and knocked down, a lot of people will give up. But so I'm guessing you're saying that the desire to be
Physically, look,
better.
physically and metaphorically, okay?
Mhm, mhm.
Thank you,
Right.
Stacy. I saw comments. Thank you, Stacy.
So the desire to be, desire to have the things that you have never had. Excuse me. That give you the drive to keep pushing forward. I like that. The desires. I like
Mm-hmm.
that. I like that. Um,
Hey,
so
Jasmine.
as we bring it to a close, listen, as we bring it to a close, I thank you for coming on this platform. It was an honor to have you speak to these beautiful people about the situations and the circumstances that have made you you and what you do and what you offer. Do you want to say what you offer one more time, and then I will put the link to your stuff, or you will put it in the under the video itself, so that that if you want to, you can reach her. But can
Yeah.
you explain what you offer one more time?
Yes, I am a certified empowerment and professional life coach, and I help women. I have it typed out, y'all, because I just had a brain freeze, but I'm human, so that's acceptable. I help women build their self confidence, set boundaries, and heal and release themselves from their past trauma. That is what I
Okay,
do.
that is
And
what she does, y'all. Hmm. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for commenting. Listen, thank you guys for giving us your energy because I see one thing I appreciate on these lives is that you give me your energy, you give me your comments, you give me, you give us that energy back. So I appreciate you all being here. Next week, I'm going to have someone else. It's going to be a surprise. Make sure you come back next week, Friday. I know this week I did a series. Yeah, you missed that series, Nrich. And one day I might bring you on to do a double. But we do it. Well, you be at work. I'm sorry. But
Kirk, I just
uh-huh.
can't. I don't know if we want to tackle it or not. How do you know
Which
when
one?
you're ready? How do you know you have had enough and move on? Only you know what you can tolerate and not tolerate in your life. I can't define it for you. You will know when you've hit your limit. When either your cup is completely empty or you feel like you're about to snap. I don't know how else to define that for you. You have to determine when enough is enough for you to start planning. Your safety is imperative. Choose safety first. I'm not going to tell nobody just to up and go, because that you got to have everything lined up for yourself. And I don't have the definition. You have it within you. You know what that looks like.
You
And
gotta trust it.
yeah, you gotta listen to yourself. I will say this. My email is coach.nrich, like it's spelled on the screen with no spaces, @gmail.com. If anybody wanted to email me or schedule a session, I do have a website, and I don't want to misspell it. That's why I was gonna copy it, because
That right?
I can't see it.
You can see the comments?
That's my
Oh,
email.
man.
That's my email right there. That's right, Kurt.
Oops. Okay. So this.
That's my email.
And what's your website?
My website is www.nrich, it's spelled correctly with the E in front,
Mm-hmm.
life coaching.
Oh, E with an E in front.
Yeah, the E's in front. It's spelled the right way.
So Nrich Coaching.
nrichlifecoaching.com.
Lord, it's life coaching.
Listen now. This is what we do all day, every day, y'all.
Listen, I type, I type with 2 fingers.
That is
Is this right here?
You got it right. Thank you.
Listen, I be typing with 2 damn fingers. I don't, when they was doing typing in school, I was outside doing things with girls, right? And I missed it. I was outside. Being bad with girls, man. But so I missed typing. So all my life, I missed it. I thought typing used to be for girls, and then so I skipped it. I skipped class, so I never got it. So yeah, so this is her email. This is her email, and this is a website. Feel free to reach out to her. Feel free to follow her on the platform. She is who she is. Like I said, we speak every day, so I could
sure will.
check. She showed up the way she is. All right. So thank you for joining us. Thank you guys for being here. Make sure you watch the playback. Make sure you're there. Miranda is this person right here. She is one of the most commenting person on my live. One of the most giving when it comes to giving advice and giving ideas in the comment section. She's gonna be here next week, Friday. We're gonna speak about some deep stuff. Hope you're not shy, Miranda. We're going to speak about some deep stuff. We're going to go in a different direction. So make sure you come ready to listen to some different perspective that you might not agree with everything or not. But I think she's going to flow in a way that, because the way how she speaks is very powerful. So that's something. Wait, Miranda, what is it that you do again? What is it that you do? So they can know what to expect. Are you a therapist? What is it that you do? Can you put it so I can put it on here? Yeah, she hope others don't get offended easily. Hey, but that's life, right?
I can't wait to hear.
At least sometimes it happens, right? Miranda's gonna be here next week, Friday, with us, and okay, so thank you, Amanda. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming. I'm waiting for her response about what she does so I can put it up there so we can know what to expect.
Somebody asking for your email, Kirk.
My email. What is my email is Kirk at Conscious Reality. Lord, I can't type. So that store. Is the house spelled right? Kirk. Yep, that's it right there. She is a shadow. Wait, first let me put my email. That's my email right there. Yeah, that's my email. Kirk at consciousreality.store. If you just in case you wanna email me some question or something, or you wanna come on my show or something, or come up and let me interview you, let me talk to you. And then this is okay, Akafrina, I will. Akafrina. And Miss Miranda says she's a shadow worker. Listen,
Okay. Okay.
just be ready for some shadow talking, all right? Stacy
Okay.
said she can't wait. I know Stacy was her and Stacy had a whole conversation last week. Hey Steph Bell, last week in the chat with that young man, they had a whole conversation. And Stacy was like, I can't wait to when you come up. Stacy, I remember. Listen, I remember. I'm more on the spiritual side with a bias in psychology and human behavior. See? So y'all be ready.
Oh.
Nrich, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much. I know you was a little nervous, but you see how easy they are? You see how easy they are? You see how easy my people are?
I've appreciated it though. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for your comments, your support, your kind words. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Hey Flo, Joe. So see, I told you it was like I have good. See, on my channels, I have good people. I have good people who are actually here to get fed and learn and share their experiences and their expertise. So I don't have a lot of trolls who come in here to judge and all them stuff. So I don't really cater for them people, anyways. So thank you guys for showing up. Thank you for you showing up to how you are, because I couldn't even tell that you was nervous. I couldn't even tell.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I couldn't even tell. So, guys, I appreciate it. Let me end the stream. We're gonna talk right up. I'm sure we're gonna talk after this. So, thank you for showing up. All right.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys. I see you later. Hey, listen. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for coming back. Thank you guys for being subscribers and members. And next week, tomorrow night we're gonna do our first meeting for the book club. I appreciate you guys signing up for the book club. I think we're gonna open up our minds. I will, Miranda. I will. I think we're gonna open up our minds a bit differently. I think we're gonna actually grow into a space where we're gonna see some different stuff, because I think the books that I have in mind, a lot of my knowledge come from those books, but a lot of my knowledge come from practicing certain things, connecting to certain people, certain places, certain spaces. So we're gonna get into the book. We're gonna read it. We're gonna practice some things that you never thought that you would practice, and you will see some differences in your life. So listen, thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for coming. I see you guys Monday on my series, most uncomfortable things that we don't want to talk about that we have in relationship. All right. Until then, I see you later.